Hi guys, it's JB here with a review of Burnley's match against Brighton. We'll be doing player ratings in a little while and that, but first of all, I'll need to talk about this. It was very, very disturbing to see on Saturday what the Brighton fans were doing to Jay Rodriguez. I thought it was pathetic. It all stems from the fact that he was accused of, when he was at West Brom, Jay Rodriguez. He's one of our own, so we're going to defend him, whatever. But he was accused of racism by Guy Tambon, one of the Brighton players, and they went to an inquiry, an FA inquiry, and it was never proven that Jay Rodriguez had said anything that was racially untoward. Now, I don't condone racism. The people in their right mind don't condone it. But when it's not been proven, and Guy Tambon is making up all these rumours, and then the Brighton fans are swallowing it left, right, and centre, then it doesn't make for a very good thing. And then there was a journalist who's a Brighton fan. He started stirring things up this morning of the game, accusing Burnley fans of monkey chanting, which was never the case. I was at that same game when Burnley played Brighton in 2018 in that April, and I never heard any monkey chants. That's also explained in another video from last year. So if you want to watch that video, I'll leave a link in the description below because it's a bit of a rant. But I thought the Brighton fans were very disgraceful and need to move on because, Rodriguez was not found guilty. It was never proven. And the sooner the Brighton fans accept that, move on, the happier everyone will be. I'm sure Guy Tambon doesn't want it all dragged up again. And then there's the issue of certain Brighton fans calling us long ball merchants and boring, and we play anti-football. Absolute rubbish. As I explained in this video, Brighton fans, some of our play was actually quite good. And as I explained the goal to you later on in the video, you'll realise that we do actually play some football on the deck. So to get it into your thick skulls down there on the south coast in Sussex that we aren't a long ball team and are not a team of mercenaries. Get that straight. Having said that, though, we didn't really play as well as we should have done on Saturday. We got a point out of it, which was okay. It wasn't too bad. I'd have loved to have beaten. I'd love to have won the game as a Burnley fan, being completely biased. But having said all that, though, I thought we were poor, really, in a lot of ways. The game started off well. First 20 minutes, I thought we were superb. Jack Cook and Chris Wood missed a chance between them. We played some really nice stuff. Yeah, sometimes we could hoof it up, but, we mixed it up with some good passing along the floor and stuff like that. So we do know how to play football. It's just certain southern teams, wrong side of the south of the Thames, certain teams fans south of the River Thames don't appreciate the mixture of football we're putting in. Sometimes, and another thing that the Brighton fans must consider is, sometimes you've got to find more than one way to get a result in football. Okay, pretty football does not win you results. Brighton could have ended up relegated last year, and for those who have got short memories, when they had to go to Wolves and get a point, they didn't even have one shot at goal, if I remember rightly, at Wolves, when they got a 0-0 out of it. So the Brighton fans have got very short memories. Anyway, back to the game, and it wasn't the best game, I must admit, I've seen in the world, but we weren't great. Defensively we looked a bit sloppy. As I said, first 20 minutes were good, and then Brighton came into it. Peters I didn't think was good enough. I'm starting to think that way he can't defend. It's all right knocking long balls forward. That's why Dyche has bought him, just to hit a long ball forward. It's not good enough. We need to start buying players that have qualities in all areas of football. Not just this stupid tactical 4-4-2 game that Dyche plays. He needs to mix it up a little bit. And he doesn't technically get it. I mean, if Mike Garlick's got the money there, but yeah, Dyche doesn't know how to spend it properly, then he's got a fundamental problem. Not that I'm dissing Dyche in any way, but, I would like to see Burnley evolve as a team and play a little bit more expansive. It's not great, but we do play good football when we do get the ball down, and we got it down and played it in a lot of stages on Saturday. More than the Brighton fans think we had. And then Brighton took over. They had probably the better of the second half of the first half. 0-0. Yeah, Brighton will feel that they should have got in front. Solly Marsh had a shot saved by Nick Pope. I thought Nick Pope was outstanding for us on Saturday. I didn't think anything he had to do, he did it very well, and he played really well. So it was 0-0 at half time. Then Brighton came at us in the second half. They attacked us, and they forced a few chances, and it was a little bit turgid, I have to say. But then our defending was just substandard, and then their goal. What is Dwight McNeil doing? He's allowed Solly March a couple of 2 or 3 yards worth of space to get the crossing. Where are our two centre halves, Tarkowski and me? Ben Mee, don't get me started on him. When I do the ratings later, I will lay into him a little bit because he plays some misplaced passes. But to be fair, that finish from Maupay was absolutely superb. I only wish we bought him and not Brighton, but that's another day now. That comes down to the manager, unfortunately. But take nothing away from the kid that Brighton got from Brentford. That was a terrific finish, and he hit it sweetly into the left corner, and it was a terrific goal. Pope had no chance. It was just one of those finishes you've just got to hold your hands up and say, fair play. You know what I mean? It was just one of those. But our defending was woeful. Very, very woeful, I've got to be honest. And then they went in for the kill second half, or they tried to go in for the kill. We had a couple of chances. Wood had a chance when the ball was hooked across, and then we tried to bring. And then the stupidity with the fans started when Rodriguez came in. Nobody should have to take that abuse from anyone. Jay Rodriguez has done nothing wrong. It was proven at the FA meeting. He didn't. I think it unsettled him a little bit because he didn't make much of a difference. But another sub at the end, Jeff Henrik. I mean, you've got to say, he's had a great week, winning his 50th cap for Republic of Ireland. And then his 100th Premier League appearance he makes on Saturday, and he marks it. We looked at him, we looked a little bit spent towards the end. We didn't play badly, but we could have played a lot better on the day. And the movie started in our own half. We played along the deck. It comes out to the far side, and then it's back to Vidra. Lays it off a treat, and Henrik, 25 yards out, hits it right-footed, sails right into that corner, right-hand corner, and we get a point. I think it wasn't the best game in the world. I don't think Brighton played as well as I think they could do. Graham Potter conceded that Burnley were the better side for the first 20-25 minutes, and then Brighton had a bit of possession themselves. And I thought it was even Stevens, to be fair, the game. And I think 1-1 was about right. Both teams really didn't do themselves justice on the day, and I think a point's a fair result. I think, any point you take away from home, it's a good point, regardless of how well you've played. So I can't really moan about it. Brighton... Very blinkered Brighton fans will feel that they should have thrashed this 4-0 or something daft. I don't think that was the case. I think they were watching a very different game. Some Brighton fans accused us of being long ball on the goal. It wasn't. It was played along the deck. Anyone with half a brain could see that. And it's just ridiculous. So it ended 1-1. So I'm now going to do the player ratings, plus manager, plus fans. From both sides, because obviously I need to get my feelings out, and I've got to be brutally honest. Bear with me. I know I'm not looking at camera, but there you go. Sorry, I always check my phone every time just to see if there's any messages or anything like that. Anyway, let me start with the Burnley 11 plus substitutes. Nick Pope will start with first. I thought he had a very good game. Could argue he was Burnley's best player out of the 11 that started. Made some really good saves. Saved well a couple of times from Solly March, Maupay as well. Had no chance on the goal. Let's not, he can't be blamed. His back four exposed him a bit. But having said that, though, the Mopai finish was a superb finish, so you can't knock him for that. I'm going to give Pope 7 out of 10 for that. These are marks out of 10, by the way. Matt Lawton, the right back, not his best game. Gave the ball away several times. Cheap possession. Defensively, not as switched on as he should have been. I'm going to give him a 3. And then Peters, not good enough for me. I don't know why Charlie Taylor is not in the team. He didn't deserve to lose the shirt. He was playing magnificently for us last season. What has he seen in Eric Peters, Dyche, to warrant him having the left-back shirt instead of Charlie Taylor, who's a far more younger, more skillful player than Peters is? It's just unbelievable. Another waste of a signing for me. I don't know why he bought him in the first place. People say he's a solid signing. We don't need solid signings. We need young players. He's, for an experienced player, he's just not good enough. I don't like him. I couldn't care less if he ever played another game for Burnley again. Absolutely poor. Defensively crap. I've got to be honest with you. Why are we playing this guy? And why did we pay £1.5 million? I know it's not a lot of money, but it is in a way for a player that just can't defend for toffee. He's awful. I'm going to give Peters a -2 out of 10. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. The two centre-backs, absolutely tripe. How we weren't mullered in the second half were there. Ben, I'll start with the captain. How is Ben Mee allowed to be captain? I will never know. I had this feeling when Ben Mee took the captaincy from Tom Heater when he left for Aston Villa that this would happen. Last year, for the first half of the season, when he had the captaincy, he looked all over the place. Newcastle being one of the games, case in point. On his day, he can be the most brilliant centre back. He can be the bravest centre back in the world, as far as I'm concerned. But the last couple of games, he's been sloppy. He's been horrible. His passing has been well off kilter. His defending and his marking again looks suspect again, as proved on the goal. Mind you, Tarkowski doesn't get away scot-free, as I'll point out in a bit. He may be a good defender, but does that make him a good leader? He doesn't seem to lead. He doesn't seem to lack passion. He doesn't shout. He doesn't bark instructions. That's not what I want to see in a captain. I want to see somebody who's leading from the front. I want to see someone who's shouting and barking orders like a Tony Adams or something like that used to do at Arsenal. He hasn't got any fire. It doesn't look as if he's got any fire in his belly. It's rotten. It's rotten to see. And I don't want to diss the bloke because he's probably a nice guy and a decent defender, but that's what he is. He's certainly not captain material. Anyway, I'm going to give him a 3. Not good enough by half. Same mark for James Tarkowski. I'm going to give him a 3 for the same reasons. Defensively poor. Distribution was poor. Ben Mee's distribution was just as poor as well. He didn't make good reading. So the back four get low marks for me. And sad to say, one of them, our left back, gets a minus mark. And I don't like to be strict, but Eric Peters is just not good enough. Why we bought him, I shall never know. When we got a perfectly good left back in Charlie Taylor, I could do an awful lot better. Midfielders, Dwight McNeil, bit of an off day for him really. Didn't do his defensive duties good enough. Attack-wise, he was led down a blind alley a little bit by Solly March and co. But having said that, though, he did try his socks off, to be fair, and in the end, I'm going to give him a 4. He did okay. He did okay. He made some good attacking runs, but the final product just wasn't there. I think the lad's allowed a few. I think you've got to give the lad a few bad games, I suppose, in some respects. So, as disappointing as he was, I'm going to give him a 4 because at least he kept trying. Westwood, I thought he was the pick of the midfielders. The good thing about Westwood is he'll always battle for you. No matter how bad or bad a game he's having, he'll always try, get stuck in, battle away. and I thought he was the pick of our midfielders, probably the best. I'm going to give him a 5 because he never stopped trying. He never gave in. He never gives up. Yeah, he gave away a silly free kick for and a yellow card, but the tenacity of the lad to keep going when faced up against adversity was something that I admire. So he's going to get a 5 for me, but it might be a low mark, but he kept going. It wasn't his best game by any means, but he kept going. He kept going. Jack Cork 3. Not good enough. Misplaced passes. Went in the final third. Not getting the service that the strikers are needing at the moment. It's just not good enough, I'm afraid, from Jack Cork. We signed him for £10 million. He looked a world beater at Swansea, and at the moment he's not looking anything world beating-ish at the moment. It's very hard for me to talk about it. It's very hard for me. I mean, he's a great player, great competitor, but I didn't see anything there from him on Saturday that was competitive enough. He was lethargic. He kept the ball away in certain areas. How we miss Stephen Defoe now. Now he's buggered off bound to Belgium. That is going to be a big miss now, losing Stephen Defoe. And we've got Jack Cork, who just misplaces passes left, right and centre at the moment. He needs to get his brain into gear and he needs to get his act together. So he gets a 3. Aaron Lennon, I think he's past his prime, to be honest with you. He gets a 2. Not good enough. Silly booking in the first half. Why he needed to make the foul, I'll never know, because he's still about 70 yards from goal and there's covering defenders. Why did he have to take the free kick there? Give away a free kick and a silly yellow card beyond me. Crossing, just not good enough. I think he's past his sell-by date now. Maybe we need to get rid in January because I don't think he's going to. I think it's where we'll miss Goodmanson because Goodmanson, of course, is injured, and it's very, very hard to really take that in. But Lennon, it's just simply put, it wasn't good enough, and there's no sugarcoating it. His Tottenham days, his great days at Tottenham are well behind him now, I'm afraid. And we're not seeing the benefits of that. Not good enough. So he gets a 2. Strikers, Barnes gets a 4. He does try his hardest, bless him, but he didn't have much to do in the game. The only reason he gets a 4 is he does run around and offers himself, but when the midfielders can't be bothered trying to give him some service, it just doesn't seem the point, does there? And so he was a bit quiet. But I don't blame Barnes for anything because he obviously was isolated with the lack of service and all the chances put into the other striker, which I'm going to really lay into Chris Wood at this moment in time because I feel that he ought to look at himself in the mirror. So Barnes gets a 4 purely and simply because he does try, he runs around, offers himself, but if the service isn't there to him, what can he do? So Barnes gets a 4. Wood gets a -1. I'm sorry, Chris Wood, but you had 2, maybe 3 golden chances in that match, and you fluffed them all. That is not the way a Premier League striker takes his chances. I'm sorry, but you're not good enough. You've not been good enough this season. That's why at least Ashley Barnes offers himself when he hits the target. That's why he's got 4 goals this season. That's why he's one of the top scorers in the division. You've got a big fat 0 because you can't finish. Not good enough, Wood. You had 3 great clear-cut opportunities to score, and you failed miserably on them all. Not good enough. Why does he persist with Chris Wood? Fair enough, he got 11 goals in his first 2 seasons. In each of his first 2 seasons. But I'm sorry, for £15 million, I expect better. I'm sorry. But he's another one that I think has to go. It's very difficult. Anyway, so I was very, very disappointed. I just want to check who came on substitutes in that game, because Jeff Henrik was certainly one, and just let me just check who came on sub in that game. Just let me. So who came on sub? Matty Ridgeborough, Jeff Henrik, and Jay Rodriguez. Right. I'll start in chronological order. Jeff Henrik came on after 59 minutes, and actually tried to get some service to the strikers, and he gets a 5 because he gets a 5 or a 6 because he tried better. He did more in half an hour than Jack Cork did over the course of 90 minutes, and the lad gets a lot of unfair stick from certain sections of Burnley supporters, because it's not his fault that Sean Dyche, in his, shall we say, wisdom, plays him out of position. I think it's just a case really of he tries his best, but he doesn't please certain fans. He's a good player though. I think his best position obviously is box to box midfield, but anyway, he really tried his socks off, and he got his reward. 100 Premier League appearance. Well done to him. A big well done. He gets a round of applause from me. And what he does well is, I'm going to change that to a 6, because he did, as I say, did more in half an hour than someone like Jack Cook did in the entire 90 minutes. And the equalising goal, beautiful layoff by Matty Vidra, did absolutely superb. And he played it. Listen, Brighton fans, read my lips. It was played along the ground. Thank you. Great layoff along the ground by Vidra, and Henrik just went for it. He's hit this hammer and it's gone right in the corner. If that doesn't win BBC Goal of the Month competition, then there's something wrong with the voting, or the Premier League Goal of the Month competition. Then their voting system must be so bent, it's unbelievable, because I think that's a goal that deserves to win a Goal of the Month competition. I don't care how good any of the other contenders may be. In my opinion, that's goal of September, in my opinion, certainly up there for goal of the season. A terrific start, best time, right-footed, and no goalkeeper in the world could say that. Great performance. So Jeff Henrik gets a 6, and he really works his socks off in the half hour he was on. Jay Rodriguez came on, got wrongful abuse from the Brighton fans, called him a racist so-and-so, when he's not been proven to be a racist. He's a good lad, he's J Rod. I just wish Brighton fans would just now leave him alone. The situation is done and dusted. He was proven innocent. Deal with it, move on, and it affected him a little bit. The unfair stick he got there, and it's very disappointing. But the lad will come good. He's a good lad. He's a Burnley lad, and he was a bit quiet. Possibly just off-putted by what was said as he came on, but he was a bit quiet. He gets a 4 because he does try, J Rod. He's a Burnley lad, and he does try, but I just think the occasion and the hostility of the Brighton fans maybe was just a bit too much for him on Saturday. And finally, Vidra, he gets a 5. He did all right. He came on for 10 minutes. He threw himself about a bit. He really put a real shift in the 10 minutes that he played, and he gets the assist for the equaliser because his layoff is just top draw. I've knocked him a few times before, but on Saturday he came on. I felt him and Henrik really made the big difference out of the 3 substitutes. Obviously, we touched on Rodriguez for obvious reasons. He was probably nervous because of this hostility of the Brighton fans, the wrongful hostility, wrongfully calling him this, that, the other, and I didn't like that at all. But going back to Vidra, great performance, ball laid off, and he lays it off, and Henrik just does the rest. It was a marvellous thing. But he ran up and down, defended from the front, everything you want to see from a player, And I'm going to eat my humble pie here. Vidra worked his socks off for 10 minutes more than Chris Wood did or anybody else did for 90 minutes. So big up to him. He did really well, and showing now Dash has to consider him now, maybe starting him for a couple of games, maybe Jay Rodriguez possibly as well. I know he didn't have much of a impact on Saturday. I still think he's got more to offer than Chris Wood has at the moment, and has scored one more competitive goal than Wood. So maybe give neither Matty Vidra or Jay Rodriguez a chance. So that's my opinions on the Burnley lineup. The referee, Mike Dean. Was it Mike Dean? No, it wasn't. It was Michael Oliver, sorry. Mike Dean was last night's referee. I don't know where I got Mike Dean from. Referee Michael Oliver, 4. I thought he favoured Brighton in some of the decisions. Should have sent off more pie for tonking out one of our defenders. He deemed it accidental. It looked a red card offence to where I was sitting, and I still maintain that. I thought it was dangerous play. Yeah, he gets the ball, but his follow through is dangerous, absolutely dangerous, and I think he should have been sent off. But there you go. That's the way it is. So he gets the 4. It wasn't his best game. Supposedly one of our top referees, but what I saw, I thought he was a bit fussy. Had decided to stop play when their player Duffy was faded a head injury. And he fainted. He was up in about 2 seconds flat once he had the magic sponge treatment. I know it's the rules, but we had a 3-on-2, and it annoys me when that stops. But having said that, of course you've got to take the player's welfare into account. But I was annoyed at the time. But I don't think he had his best game, so he gets a 4. Sean Dyche, the manager, he gets a 4. I think for the first 60 minutes, tactically, we weren't sound enough. I don't think we were closing down as well as we should be doing. I just felt that. I just felt he tactically, again, we're going to be found out. He needs to. The problem with Sean Dyche is, I mean, we're as good as we are at 4-4-2, and we are bloody damn good at 4-4-2 most weeks. We need to be more expansive. We need to be a bit more savvy on our travels. We're not savvy enough. We can be sucker punched away from home. At home, we're good, right? 4-4-2 on our pitch, we're as good as anybody in the league. But away from home, we need to be more savvy. And you know, if Plan A fails, we need a Plan B. Tactically, substitutions you can make and they might make a difference, they might not make a blind bit of difference, but you need to have a change of tactics. Go 3 up front or something, play 4-3-3 like we did in the last 10 minutes of the game. You know, if we'd have made that sooner after more pie had scored, I think we might have done a lot better and might possibly gone on and won the game. So Dyche missed a few tactical tricks, I felt. But he gets a 4 because of the substitutions. 2 of them paid off big time. Vidra and Henrik combining for the equaliser, so that got us out of jail a little bit there. The fans, the Burnley fans, first of all, they get a 10. Those who went down to the Amex, and it's a long trip down from Lancashire to Sussex, massive. You're talking about a 9-hour round trip, there and back, and they did a marvellous job getting down there and supporting the team right to the end. So the Burnley fans get a 10 from me. My fellow Burnley fans get a 10. Brighton fans get 0. Absolute disgrace, the lot of them, Brighton, I'm afraid. Their fans should be ashamed of themselves. But the wrongful abuse they gave Jay Rodriguez when he was not proven to have racially abused Gitan Bong, which was never proven. Why won't they accept it and move on is another thing. There's certain fans accusing us of being anti-football when they obviously not watched the same game as us. First 20 minutes we were better than them, which they choose to ignore for some reason, and they choose to ignore the fact that we actually played the ball along the deck in the build-up to Jeff Henrik's Thunderbolt goal. Jeff Henrik's last gasp Thunderbolt equaliser. When we actually played it along the deck, if they watch it, if they look at it logically, I mean, some of them were on, some of the vile stuff they were saying on Twitter was pathetic. So I'm afraid, Brighton fans, you get a zero, a big fat zero from me. Sorry, not good enough. You know, support your team by all means, but when you accuse another team of being anti-football or falsely accuse a team of being anti-football, then that's where I draw the line with you guys. Sorry. But any respect for Brighton I had before that, and then you slag off my hometown as well, some of you. I think that's pathetic. I'm sorry. You can't just slag off Burnley just on one visit. I've lived there for 35, 36 years. I've lived there all my life. It's my hometown. It's a place I worship. It's a great town. I love living there. And I'll tell you something else. At least we've got more kind-heartedness in Burnley than half of you lot are. So vile, you guys. Sorry. But that's the way it is. How would you like it, Brighton fans, if I went down to your town and started slagging yours off? You wouldn't like it now, would you? There you go. Anyway, that's the end of the review of Saturday's game. If you do agree with what I say, drop a comment. Keep your comments obviously clean. Brighton fans, what do you say to that? I just think you just need to wise up a bit. Get over what happened 2 years ago. Let's forget it and move on. Also, let me know what your marks are in the comment section as well, Burnley fans. And if you have enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And that's it, really. Very long-winded video. I apologise, but I had a lot to get through with the marking and that. So apologies if the video has been a bit long-winded today, but that's the way of the world. Hope you've enjoyed it, however, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.